From Neural Newscast, this is Deep Dive, exploring the moments that shape today.
Welcome to Deep Dive from Neural Newscast. I'm Claire Donovan.
And I'm Frederick Moore. Today is March 10th, 2026, and we are tracing the lines of communication back to a single room in Boston, where a few spoken words changed everything.
That room was the laboratory of Alexander Graham Bell. It was March 10th, 1876, and for the first time in history, the human voice was transmitted clearly through a wire.
It's one of those moments that feels scripted for a movie, Claire. Bell had just received his patent 3 days prior, and he was working feverishly with his assistant, Thomas Watson.
The phrase itself is legendary. Bell spoke into the device and said, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." It was a simple summons, but it proved that the telephone was no longer a theoretical dream. It was a functioning reality.
Exactly. It is fascinating to think about the immediate impact. This was not just a scientific curiosity, it was the birth of an entire infrastructure. That single call eventually led to the formation of AT&T and the sprawling global network we use every second today.
Right. And looking at it from a labor perspective, it revolutionized the workplace. It altered how businesses coordinated, how news traveled, and how workers interacted across distances. It was the first step toward the hyper-connected world we inhabit now.
And yet, while Bell was focused on the future of sound, the history of this day also brings us to some very familiar faces in the world of culture and entertainment.
We have quite a lineup of birthdays today. Let's start with the man who became a literal legend of martial arts and internet lore, Chuck Norris, born in 1940.
No way! Norris has such an interesting trajectory. He started as a world-class martial artist, but he really cemented his place in the public consciousness through films like Enter the Dragon alongside Bruce Lee, and of course, his long-running television series, Walker, Texas Ranger.
He represents that classic tough guy archetype, Frederick, but he also has this incredible staying power. Even decades after his peak, the memes and the cultural fascination with his persona continue. He is a genuine icon of American action cinema.
Transitioning from action to the silver screen's dramatic heights, we also celebrate Sharon Stone, born in 1958. She became one of Hollywood's most recognizable stars in the 90s, specifically with her role in Basic Instinct.
Stone was more than just a femme fatale, though. She earned an Academy Award nomination for her performance in Casino and showed incredible range in films like Total Recall. She navigated the industry with a sharp intelligence that matched her screen presence.
And finally, we have a major figure from the world of music. Carrie Underwood was born on this day in 1983. Her story is a quintessential modern success narrative, starting with her win on American Idol in 2005.
That's remarkable. It is rare to see a reality show winner sustain that level of success, Frederick. Underwood has become one of the best-selling country artists of all time, with multiple Grammy Awards. She really bridged the gap between traditional country and mainstream pop audiences.
It is quite a diverse trio, Norris, Stone, and Underwood. They each mastered a different corner of the spotlight. But while we celebrate these lives, we must also address a much darker anniversary that occurred on this same date in 1945.
This is a somber chapter in the history of the Second World War. On March 10th, 1945, United States B-29 bombers conducted a massive nighttime firebombing campaign over Tokyo.
The scale of this event is often overshadowed by the atomic bombings that followed, but the statistics are staggering. Over 100,000 people were killed in a single night. In terms of immediate loss of life, it remains the deadliest air raid in human history.
The raid used incendiary bombs designed to set the densely packed wooden structures of the city ablaze. Vast areas of Tokyo were simply incinerated. It was a brutal strategy intended to cripple Japanese morale and industrial capacity.
It is a reminder of the sheer scale of destruction that technology can enable when turned toward conflict. We go from Bell's telephone, designed to bridge distances between people, to a campaign of aerial bombardment that shattered an entire metropolis.
That contrast is really the essence of what we look at here. March 10th shows us the heights of human connection and the depths of industrial warfare. It is a day of profound beginnings and tragic endings.
A day that reminds us that every invention and every life exists within a much larger, often complicated, historical narrative.
I'm Claire Donovan.
And I'm Frederick Moore. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. Find more at deepdive.neuralnewscast.com.
Deep Dive is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. Explore history every day on Neural Newscast.
This has been Deep Dive on Neural Newscast, exploring the moments that shape today.